Method. If you do not use the push and pull method, you will lose 1 point. Observe. If you do not check your mirror every 5 to 8 seconds, you lose 5 points. Wide, cut. Do any of the following and you will lose 4 points. Turning left and going over the middle of the road. Turning right so widely that you almost bump the curb on the far side. Cutting corners. When turning left, taking the corner too soon and almost bumping the curb. When turning right, cutting over towards the right-hand side of the road and possibly cutting over the center white line. Wonders. If while you are driving on any type of road, the vehicle wanders all over the road and does not keep a straight line, you will lose 2 points. Positioning of vehicle on roadway. You will lose 2 points if you do not keep your vehicle in the safest possible position on the road. Straddles. If you do not keep in the lane you are supposed to be in and you allow the vehicle to straddle the road markings, you will lose 2 points. Hand signal. Always ensure that hand signals are done well in advance and are completed before you start to brake or slow the vehicle. Depending on your speed, you need to be at least 100 meters or roughly 12 seconds from a turn or stop when you do a hand signal. You will be allowed 2 attempts at hand signals. Mirror. Mirror checks are to be done before you check the blind spot and before you brake. If you do not check your mirror, you will lose 3 points. Blind spot. Check your right blind spot before you put your hand out the window. If you do not check your right blind spot, you will lose 5 points. Turn left. Turn right. Overtake. Slow down. Stop. Intersection. Mirror. Before turning at an intersection or pulling into a vehicle entrance, check your rear view mirror. If you do not check your rear view mirror, you will lose 3 points. Blind spot. If you do not check your blind spot, you will lose 5 points. Indicator. If you do not use the indicator or cancel it before you have turned properly, you will lose 5 points. Lane change. If the lane change is not done well in advance of the turn, you will lose 3 points. Checking right and left. When turning into or going past an intersection, look left and right at the roadway for any dangers. If you do not look properly at these areas, you will lose 5 points. Position when turning. Position the vehicle straight and as close to the center line of the intersection as possible. If not in the correct position, you will lose 4 points. Direction of wheels. If your front wheels are not pointing straight ahead while waiting, you will lose 3 points. Indicator cancelled. If you forget to cancel the indicator after you have turned, you will lose 4 points. Observe. If you do not observe, you lose 5 points. Indicate. If you want to turn after you move off, you must indicate after you have observed. Gear. If you do not put the vehicle into gear or put it into the wrong gear, you lose 1 point. Wait too long. If you wait too long or enter traffic when it's unsafe to do so, you lose 1 point. Move. If you move the vehicle in a jerky manner or when it's not safe, you lose 1 point. Stall. If you stall the vehicle, you lose 1 point. Using the parking brake, put the gear in neutral and do the starting procedure again. If you roll, you fail. Indicator cancelled. If you do not cancel your indicator, you lose 1 point. The yard test, alley docking. To observe is to check in your rear view mirror, side mirrors and a quick check of your 2 blind spots. The examiner should tell you the following. Stopping will be permitted at any stage. If you are unsuccessful the first time, a second and final attempt may be made, providing that no obstacle has been touched. On entering the alley docking, the examiner will ask you to stop where indicated and reverse into the demarcated area without touching any obstacle. On leaving the alley docking, the examiner will ask you to steer out of the demarcated area without touching any obstacles and repeat the test from the opposite side. Tip: because mirrors only give a partial view behind your vehicle, it is important, if possible, to look through the rear window of your vehicle. This can be done by turning in your seat with your left shoulder in the backrest of your seat and keeping your head near the middle of the vehicle. On executing the alley docking, you can stop as many times as you need to, but before you pull away each time, you must observe to make sure that it is safe to reverse. The indicator must also be used to warn any vehicles approaching in which direction you are turning. If this maneuver cannot be completed on the first attempt, the vehicle must again be positioned in the original starting position from where a second and a final attempt may be made. Stopping is allowed at any stage, but no forward movement will be allowed during a reverse attempt. The examiner will mark the following on the test sheet if you do not indicate, indicate incorrectly, do not cancel your indicator, do not select the correct gear, move the vehicle in a jerky manner, stall the vehicle, do not observe at least once after you have started reversing for an alley dock, do not use the handbrake when the vehicle stops, do not hold in the button when using the handbrake. You will fail the test if you touch any of the obstacles or do not finish the maneuver. Alley dock. Stop in the indicated box with the wheels straight. Make sure the indicator is cancelled. Put on the handbrake. Put the gear in neutral. Observe. Indicate the direction you will move in. Select a gear. Obtain clutch control. Observe. Put off the handbrake. Reverse into the demarcated area without touching any obstacles and observe at least once after you have started the reverse. Stop the vehicle in the demarcated area. Put on the handbrake. Put the gear in neutral. Cancel the indicator. Leaving alley dock. Observe. Indicate the direction you will move in. Select a gear. Obtain clutch control. Observe. Put off the handbrake. Steer out of the demarcated area without touching any obstacles. Cancel the indicator. Stop where indicated, without rolling back. Apply parking brake. Select neutral. Observe. Signal intention if applicable. Engage gear. Obtain clutch control. Check rear view mirrors and blind spots. Release parking brake. Move off without rolling back. Cancel signal if applicable. Incline start. Driving off from an uphill stop. The examiner shall request the applicant to Stop where indicated and move off without rolling back. The applicant has to drive up to the stop line to stop without rolling and indicate to the examiner his ability to pull off smoothly without rolling back. Tips: you must keep both hands on the steering wheel until the vehicle comes to a complete standstill. Be sure you do not stop the vehicle with a handbrake. If you roll back, you will fail immediately. Clutch control is the main factor of this test. By practicing clutch control, this test will go smoothly. With an automatic transmission, it is not necessary to change to neutral when coming to a standstill. Any roll and you immediately fail the test. A roll is described as an uncontrolled movement from a still standing position in the opposite direction of what was planned. Turn in the road, 3-point turn. The examiner should tell you the following. Stop where indicated. Drive forward and turn the vehicle around to face in the opposite direction, in not more than 3 movements without touching any curb. End your turn on the left-hand side of the road. You are expected to turn the vehicle on a road 9 meters wide, with vertical curbs on both sides in 3 movements, without hitting the curbs, so that your vehicle will be facing the opposite direction. Tip: to countersteer means to straighten the steering wheel. Be sure to countersteer before the vehicle has stopped. Do not turn the steering wheel when the vehicle is not moving. In other words, make your turn while the vehicle is slowly moving. The examiner will mark the following on the test sheet if you do not indicate. Indicate incorrectly. Do not cancel your indicator. Do not select the correct gear. Move the vehicle in a jerky manner. Stall the vehicle. Do not observe every time before you move. Do not use the handbrake when the vehicle stops. Do not hold in the button when using the handbrake. Do not countersteer. Touch the curb. You will fail the test if you need more than 3 movements to complete the maneuver, or mount the curb with any wheel. Position the vehicle. Stop. Apply the handbrake. Put the gear in neutral. Observe. Indicate right. Select a gear. Obtain clutch control. Observe. Release the handbrake. Drive forward and turn the steering wheel as far as possible to the right. Counter steer. Stop. Apply the handbrake. Observe. Indicate left. Select reverse gear. Obtain clutch control. Manual transmission. Observe. Release handbrake. Reverse and turn the steering wheel as far as possible to the left. Counter steer. Stop. Apply the handbrake. Observe. Indicate right. Select gear. Obtain clutch control. Manual transmission. Observe. Release handbrake. Drive forward. Cancel the indicator.